Hey everyone, it's Grayson the Goosebumps Kid here. Welcome back to another Goosebumps book review. Today, I'll be looking at a Goosebumps Series 2000 book, and that is number 14, Jekyll and Heidi. This is obviously a reference to the book Dr. Jekyll and Miss Heidi. I believe that's what it's called. Dr. Jekyll and Miss Hyde. But I'm not good with original, stuff. But anyway, what is this book about? So you start off with this girl who just lost her parents in a car accident, and she's obviously taking it pretty hard. So and the girl's name is Heidi, by the way. Her name's Heidi. And she moves to New England, which I believe she lived in the U.S., but after her parents died, she didn't have anybody else besides her uncle, so she flew to New England. And she gets there. She's kind of hesitant about moving because of what happened to her parents. She's depressed and down, obviously. I'm sure a lot of people would be if you lose parents like that. But, yeah, she's depressed, hesitant about moving because she lived in the U.S. for so long and just thinks she'll never get comfortable in this new place. But, fortunately, she gets off a bus and she meets a kid named Aaron. Now, Aaron is a kid who's been living in New England all his life. And him and Heidi start talking. And eventually she asks him where her uncle's house is, and she goes, "Have you seen my uncle? His name's Uncle Jekyll." And he goes, "Do you mean Dr. Jekyll?" She goes, "Yes." And he freaks out, saying how he's doing weird stuff, and rampaging monster has been going around the city destroying stuff. Of course, Heidi doesn't believe him. So she takes off, goes to find her own way. Or doesn't take off, but she goes with Aaron, but shuts him up. He eventually shows her the way, then he takes off. She gets there. She's greeted by her niece, or her cousin. And she's shown around the place. She doesn't get to see her uncle until later on in the book, though, like a couple chapters after that. But, because her uncle is like so busy in his lab, he rarely comes out to say hi to anybody. His daughter's not too happy about that. But anyway, I forgot his daughter's name. It started with an M. I forgot the rest. I don't think it's Marissa. It's something else. But Heidi's exploring and all that. And then eventually she gets to see her uncle for the first time in like 10 years or so. He's in his 40s, but his hair is all matted and gray and he's got it sticking out everywhere just because he's so stressed out. They meet, he greets her, says he's happy to see her, then he shows her around some more. They have supper. Everything's going good. Until one night, she gets woken up in the middle of the night by screams. And she looks down, and something terrible is going on in the village. Jekyll and Heidi was a book that I was sort of hesitant about reading because I don't really get into that sort of old style, movie monster stuff. Besides Frankenstein, that's really the only one that interests me. Besides Frankenstein and the Invisible Man, those are the only two that interest me. Other than that, I don't really get the others, but I do feel like this book did a pretty good job with the storytelling. I enjoyed the characters. Uncle Jekyll was pretty cool. And they did do actually some jokes here and there with the story about Jekyll and Heidi. And then, of course, Heidi and Uncle Jekyll's, similar names. And she makes a joke in the beginning saying, "No, we're not the two people. Just to get something straight. Those are fake. We're real people." But yeah, the whole plot in the book behind the guess who it is, like who's the monster, and I do like that aspect of the book. There were some moments I don't get. The ending was kind of creepy in a way, but at the same time, it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. But I still think it was a really cool book, and I highly recommend it to all you folks. Yeah, the characters were good. I enjoyed it. The ending, like the surprise ending, I, it was all right. It wasn't my favorite ending or anything. This definitely isn't a bad book. I do recommend it. Thank you, Maiku, for telling me how I was going to enjoy it. I really appreciate that, man. And there were some key moments in the book that kind of got me going, like when a secret diary was found. That got me interested, but it didn't really explain much until like the ending. The monster itself, very suspenseful. When you actually do find out who the monster is, it's actually kind of surprising, and I did enjoy that. So you'll definitely get a kick out of that. Anyways, that was my review on Jekyll and Heidi for Goosebumps Series 2000. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 7.5. The ending brought it down a few points, but other than that, this is still a good book. A book that I give like a 5.5 and under, I don't recommend. But 6 to a 7.5, I still believe is enjoyable. Just not as good as an 8 to a 10. This was still an interesting book. I recommend it to you guys. But what was everyone's thoughts on Jekyll and Heidi? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Would really love to hear everyone's thoughts on this. I may actually get a Give Yourself Goosebumps book review out for you guys either tomorrow or Sunday. So be looking forward to that. And make sure to join our Goosebumps Discord. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below as well. And I'll see everyone in the next book review. God bless and have a good weekend. Bye, everyone.